even now at the professional level, I'm like, how do people not know like where to move? Like it blows my mind still. Like, but I think it just makes me like really appreciative of like what Coach Bluder was able to do when we were at Iowa. Like she was so smart. She was able to like construct a team and make sure everyone always knew what they were going to do, whether you were the smartest basketball player on the team or you weren't. Like you were always on the same page with your team.
What I'm about to show you will change everything you thought you knew about Caitlin Clark's rookie season. Forget the stats, forget the highlights. A secret war is brewing inside the Indiana Fever locker room. A war for the very soul of their superstar. And Caitlin Clark herself just blew the lid off the entire thing, exposing a moment so damning, it has fans questioning her entire future with the team. This isn't just a disagreement, it's a coach putting a governor on a generational talent, and the evidence is about to become undeniable.
I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark not throwing a lob pass to this area right here is a bad play. You throw the lob pass over Kennedy Burke. Kennedy Burke's not athletic enough. You hit Kelsey Mitchell for a wide open layup. That is the play. Anything else is a dumb play.
This story begins with a single play, a moment that should have been a routine basket but instead became the flashpoint for this entire crisis. 2 minutes left on the clock. Indiana is up by a commanding 12 points. The game should be over. Caitlin Clark gets the ball, and in a split second her brain, which operates at the speed of light, processes the entire floor. She sees Kelsey Mitchell streaking to the rim, not just open but wide open. The kind of open that is a guaranteed uncontested layup. A pass that only a handful of players on the planet can even see, let alone deliver. In Clark's mind, the game is over. You throw the lob, you hit Mitchell in stride, you go up 14, and the other team starts thinking about the bus ride home. It's the dagger. It's the knockout blow.
You don't understand how hard it was for me to not throw that. And she's like, oh, I know, trust me. Everybody was like, we saw you about to throw that. But I think it's just like kind of a learning process. And it goes back to like even my shot thing. Like it's just time and score and understanding. I think that's like where I can still kind of improve. Like, do we really need that?
The best case scenario is 2 points. It does not matter how much of the shot clock you burn in a 12-point game. It is better that you are up 14 than up 12.
But here's where it gets insane. A command comes in from the sideline. The message is clear. Stop, slow it down. Walk the ball up the court, bleed the clock, play it safe. From Clark's perspective, this wasn't safe. It was strategic malpractice. She had a guaranteed 2 points that would have ended the game. And instead, she was ordered to dribble deliberately at half court, one bounce, then a second. And in those 2 seconds, the window didn't just close. It was slammed shut, bolted, and barricaded. The defense, which was in a full-blown panic, was gifted a chance to breathe, reset, and collapse the lane. What happened next broke the internet. Clark, in her post-game press conference, didn't just hint at her frustration, she laid it bare for the world to see.
I started the fourth quarter off with like 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row. And Steph yanked me and she was like, this is like a learning moment. Like you got to be able to like, yes, like maybe it could have been there. Like maybe you could have thrown a little bit better of a pass. Maybe they could have caught it. But like, do we need that in this moment? Like, no.
You don't understand how hard it was for me to not throw that, Clark admitted, a look of sheer disbelief still on her face. Her teammates saw it too. Everybody was like, we saw you about to throw that. This wasn't a player questioning a call in hindsight. This was a basketball genius, in the heat of the moment being forced to actively choose a worse option. To her, protecting a lead doesn't mean coddling it like a fragile egg. It means putting your foot on the opponent's throat and ending any thought of a comeback. This one play revealed a truth so shocking it has fans demanding answers. The truth is, Caitlin Clark and her coach, Stephanie White, are playing 2 completely different sports. One is playing to win. The other, it seems, is just playing not to lose.
It is literally a mentality of playing not to lose or playing to win. And it's very clear that Caitlin Clark's mentality is, we're playing to blow teams out. Whereas Stephanie White's mentality, you can see it by how they played, especially with Caitlin. Stephanie White's mentality, we saw, was why they were blowing 74-quarter leads. She tried to dribble the clock out. Stephanie White wants to dribble the clock out in the fourth quarter. And that's her natural instinct, is to dribble the clock out in the fourth quarter. I mean this when I say this. I would rather Caitlin Clark if Caitlin makes 4 of those crazy passes and 2 of them come off and 2 of them don't, I would rather her make that pass 4 times, because if those passes come off, it's a guaranteed 2 points. If they don't come off, you might concede.
This is the part nobody talks about. This isn't just about pace. It's a clash of basketball religions. On one side, you have Caitlin Clark, a player whose entire game is built on organized chaos. She wants to attack before a defense can even think. She sees the court not as a set of plays, but as a series of shifting advantages to be exploited in a half second. Her mentality is legendary. We're playing to blow teams out. In her world, a 12-point lead is not a fortress to hide behind. It's a launch pad to a 20-point demolition. You make the opponent quit. You make them feel hopeless. On the other side is Stephanie White's philosophy, a system that values control, structure, and draining the shot clock. A system that has been the direct cause of the Fever blowing multiple fourth-quarter leads. Her natural instinct is to dribble the air out of the ball, to slow everything to a crawl, hoping to avoid mistakes. But in doing so, she robs her team of momentum and gives the opponent life. Clark even cracked a smile during that fateful play, not because it was funny, but because it was the precise moment of revelation. The instant she realized her coach's vision and hers were on a collision course. White wanted order. Clark wanted to detonate a bomb in the heart of the defense. That single possession stopped being about 2 points. It became a perfect, horrifying snapshot of the Fever's identity crisis. Caitlin Clark's God-given instincts versus a system trying to tame them.
Caitlin Clark likes the ball in her hand. She's more of a read and react type player. Well, I'm here to tell you, she just went on Sue Bird and she just spilled the beans, bruh. She missed Lisa Bluder. She missed the way they ran the offense. She missed the entire thing.
I can't stand Stephanie White as a basketball coach for Caitlin Clark. I don't think that Stephanie White is a bad coach. Don't get it twisted. She's not a bad coach at all. I just don't think she's the right coach for Caitlin Clark. She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple double, and is the only reason her team's in the game. And let's be real, in the post-game press conference, Caitlin Clark Stephanie White made sure to give out about Caitlin Clark not passing the ball to Dantas. I'm sorry, we played the percentages. What is the likelihood that Caitlin Clark makes an assist to Kelsey Mitchell on that break? 85%. 85%. And the difference is, do you want to know what the difference is? Is that Caitlin gets a steal, dribbles in, hits Kelsey Mitchell, the crowd gets hyped. Is a crowd going to get hyped when you start dribbling the ball to halfway line?
You won't believe what she did next. In a move that sent shockwaves through the fan base, Clark went on a podcast with Sue Bird, and without naming names, built a cathedral of praise for her college coach, Lisa Bluder. She spoke of Bluder's genius, how she constructed an offense so intelligent, so perfectly spaced, that every single player from the superstar to the last person on the bench knew exactly where to be and what to do. Even now at the professional level, Clark said, I'm like, how do people not know where to move? It blows my mind. This wasn't just a nostalgic trip down memory lane. This was a direct comparison. This was Caitlin Clark telling the world, I miss playing for a coach who understood me. At Iowa, the offense was a masterpiece of motion and spacing designed to unleash Clark. It wasn't just run and gun. It was a sophisticated system built to create immediate dilemmas for the defense. With 4 shooters surrounding her, every defense had to make a choice. And whatever they chose, Clark already had the counter. She could hit a skip pass before the help defender even knew who to guard. She was playing chess at 100 miles per hour. Her best weapon wasn't her logo threes. It was her unpredictability. But the second you slow her down, the second you make her run a scripted multi-option set play, that weapon vanishes. It's like putting a governor on a Formula 1 car. You've robbed it of the very thing that makes it legendary.
Even our backup post players, I always think about how Coach Bluder ran practices and things, and I'm very fortunate looking back and now going to watch other colleges' practices and things like that. She really was so intentional about making sure everyone was on the same page and knew what they were doing and knew their role.
Right thing, there's 2:25 to go. This is a 12-point game. The game is as good as over, but Caitlin has 2 choices to basically give them a basket. They can dagger the shot. At this stage, I don't care. You've won the game anyway. You have to do really dumb shit to lose the game. But there's no reason why Caitlin needs to take that dribble with the right hand.
This is what's happening right now in Indiana. The Fever's motion offense is a slow, deliberate sequence. Pass here, cut there, wait for the post feed, reverse the ball. By the time anything develops, the elite WNBA defenses have already reset, communicated, and are in perfect position to trap her. Clark herself has admitted that in the 4th quarter, she's been explicitly told to just dribble the clock out. This forces her brain to shift from instinct to think mode. And that hesitation is fatal. Passing lanes she saw a second ago are gone. The defense is no longer reacting to her. She's reacting to them, and that's a losing battle every single time. This isn't a small tweak, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes Caitlin Clark a generational talent. A misunderstanding that could stunt her entire development. And the damage doesn't stop with Caitlin. This system is actively hurting her teammates. Take Kelsey Mitchell, one of the fastest and most dangerous off-ball guards in the WNBA. In a free-flowing, fast-paced system, Mitchell is a nightmare. She's a blur of cuts and screens, catching the ball on the move before her defender can even react. With Clark pushing the tempo, Mitchell would be feasting on layups and open jumpers all game long. She's the perfect running mate for a player with Clark's vision.
It's not Caitlin's fault that her teammates don't know where to go on the basketball court, bro. Like, if she passed you the ball, you should mentally know you're a professional damn athlete, where your feet need to be set, where you need to be positioned at in the basketball game. If you're running a play, if she's coming off a pick and roll, it could be any set.
Any coach, and I mean this, any coach that makes the best passer in the WNBA not either give the ball to Kelsey Mitchell for an open layup or hit Sophie Cunningham for an open three-point shot should not be listened to. Caitlin Clark's a player that plays off instinct. Like, Caitlin is a player who plays off instinct. Caitlin's a player who goes on runs. The problem is that if Caitlin starts overthinking, she doesn't go on the runs. The runs are when Caitlin just decides.
Caitlin Clark talking about her coach Lisa Bluder and how smart she is with offense. If you understand offense and how to break it down, you would understand how sophisticated the offense was. And it's all about fit.
But in the Fever's current system, we see a second neutered version of Kelsey Mitchell. The version that stands around the three-point line, waiting as the ball is slowly swung from side to side and the shot clock dwindles. A ball-dominant, clock-eating offense turns an off-ball assassin into a stationary spot-up shooter. It's a tragic waste of talent. This is where Clark's vision for the game shines. She wants Mitchell in constant motion, creating angles and opportunities. She wants shooters space so the defense lives in constant fear. But the system doesn't encourage that. It encourages a slow, predictable build-up, sacrificing golden opportunities for the illusion of control. It's no wonder we're seeing Clark talk about WNBA players not knowing where to be on the floor. It's because the system is actively preventing them from getting to the spots where they can be most effective.
If there's any passiveness in Caitlin Clark, I'm sorry, the Stephanie White wants you to be Paige Bueckers. But like, if Stephanie White really wants you to be Paige Bueckers, go to Amber and be like, look, I'm clearly not the player this coach wants. Go trade me for Paige. Go trade me for Paige. Go send me to Dallas. I don't care. And you've heard it. Like, if you ever hear Paige talk about the Oklahoma game, which is her best ever college game, she says, you know what, it was just a blur. It was just a blur. Basically, she was playing off instinct. It was a blur. She didn't know what was happening. She was just scoring. When Caitlin goes into off instinct, it's a blur. I'm just going to assist 4 times in a row and score 6 points in a row. 2 different versions of Kelsey Mitchell. And the thing is that she fully allows Kelsey Mitchell to do as much dumb shit as she wants. But Caitlin Clark does something that I don't even think is dumb, but she deems as being an incorrect play. And all the outcome is that Caitlin Clark makes a
Now we arrive at the most
play.
Explosive theory circulating. A theory that explains everything. Many believe that Stephanie White is trying to turn Caitlin Clark into someone she's not. She wants to sand down her chaotic edges and mold her into a more traditional, methodical point guard. The name that keeps coming up? Paige Bueckers. A phenomenal player, no doubt. A high IQ, patient, and controlled floor general. But her style is the polar opposite of what makes Clark a phenomenon. Clark's game is built on beautiful, high-octane chaos. It's the quick trigger pass into a window that didn't exist a second ago. It's the willingness to throw a pass that would get any other player benched, because she knows it will lead to a layup.
And we have Caitlin Clark talking about players in the WNBA not knowing how to move, not knowing the correct places to be, the correct spots to be in. We have Caitlin Clark bringing up, people are talking about me not winning a national championship, and it was at Iowa. You guys know about Iowa, right? A team that nobody ever expected to make it as far as they made it.
She does. And this is a coach who clearly does not want Caitlin Clark to be Caitlin Clark. Because I'm sorry, like, you take the positives with the negatives with Caitlin. Yes, 1 of every 5 times she tries to pull off the spectacular, she will do something dumb. And there are times where she tries to pull off the spectacular at different times in games, and it doesn't work out. That is fine. You live with that.
Coaching, 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 coaching. That's what I heard. Coaching, 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 coaching. And she stamps it at the end by saying, even if you're not the most smartest basketball player on the court, due to how great of a coach Lisa Bluder was, you always knew the exact spot you needed to be.
When you tell that player to slow down, to be more like Paige, you are fundamentally stripping away her superpower. It's a move born from fear of the occasional high-risk turnover. But you cannot have the genius of Caitlin Clark without accepting the risk. It's a package deal. For every 5 spectacular game-breaking passes she attempts, maybe one goes awry. A good coach understands that the reward, the guaranteed points, the broken defense, the electrified crowd is worth that risk tenfold. Trying to make her play like someone else isn't coaching, it's sabotage. The whispers have gotten so loud, the frustration so palpable, that people are openly suggesting a shocking ultimatum. If Stephanie White really wants you to be Paige Bueckers, go to the front office and tell them to trade you for Paige. Let's be brutally honest. Any coach who sees the best passer in the WNBA with a clear lane to hit Kelsey Mitchell for a layup or Sophie Cunningham for an open 3 and tells her to take a dribble instead should not be listened to. That single decision isn't just bad basketball, it's boring basketball. When Clark pushes the pace and finds Mitchell for that dunker spot layup, the crowd erupts. It creates a tidal wave of momentum that drowns the other team. Is anyone in the arena getting hyped when she's walking the ball up past the half-court line? Of course not. Stephanie White wants to make Caitlin Clark boring, and in doing so, she is making the Indiana Fever boring. Caitlin Clark is a player who thrives on instinct. She plays in what she calls a blur, much like Paige Bueckers described her own best college game. It's when she stops thinking and just reacts that the magic happens. The runs where she'll drop 4 assists and score 6 points in 90 seconds don't come from a playbook. They come from her just deciding it's time to take over. But if she starts overthinking, if she starts hesitating because she's worried about what her coach will say, those runs disappear. And without those runs, she's just another good player, not the historic, league-altering force of nature she was drafted to be. This brings us to the ultimate question, one that will define not just this season, but the entire trajectory of Caitlin Clark's career. Do you force a once-in-a-generation talent to conform to your pre-existing flawed system? Or do you do what every great coach in history has done, tear down the system and rebuild it around your superstar's strengths? You build the entire franchise to be a sledgehammer, with Caitlin Clark as the point of impact. The coaching failure here is profound. As Clark herself said about Lisa Bluder, a great coach makes sure every player, even if they aren't the smartest basketball player, knows exactly where they need to be to succeed. That is what coaching is. The Indiana Fever are at a crossroads that will have massive implications for the entire WNBA. Are they going to lean into what makes their franchise player a one-of-one talent, a player who is single-handedly bringing millions of new fans to the sport? Or are they going to keep her in a cage, dulling the very edge that makes her so special, so terrifying to opponents? The answer to that question will be the blueprint, or the warning sign for how this league handles its next wave of transcendent stars. So I have to ask you, and I want you to be honest in the comments, is Stephanie White committing coaching malpractice by holding Caitlin Clark back, or is this a necessary part of a rookie's growth? Let the world know what you think.